The screen glow blurred through my tears as I sat in a cramped bathroom stall, staring at my phone. My sister Lauren's wedding photos filled my feed. Mom adjusting her veil, Dad grinning proudly, cousins I hadn't seen in years raising champagne glasses. Everyone was there. Everyone except me. The phone slipped from my fingers and hit the tile with a hollow crack. Then a notification popped up. Mom. Hope you weren't too busy with work to check the photos. I wasn't busy. I was uninvited. My name is Vivian, I'm 32, and this is the story of how I stopped trying to earn a place at a table that was never set for me. 3 months later, I sat across from my family at our Sunday dinner. Their ritual, not mine. Mom lifted her glass, smile shining like a diamond that cuts too deep. Lauren's wedding was absolute perfection, she sighed, then tilted her head toward me. So, sweetheart, when will it be your turn? My fingers tightened around my wine glass. The question dripped with sweet poison. It already happened, I said calmly. You just weren't there. The table froze. Forks hovered midair. Lauren blinked, her practiced composure slipping. You're joking, she whispered. No, I said. Courthouse. 6 months ago. Just me and Dylan, no drama. Mom's face crumpled. You didn't tell us. You didn't ask, I said softly. You were too busy planning Lauren's perfect day. I'd mailed them a photo after the ceremony. Me in a cream dress, laughing in the wind. No one replied. Not one word. Dad broke the silence first. Is he good to you? He asked quietly. I met his eyes. Yes, better than any of you ever were. After dinner, Mom tried to regain control, her voice trembling in that performative way she'd mastered. You should have told us. As your mother, I had a right to be there. I raised an eyebrow. And I had a right to be at Lauren's, remember? The text still burned in my memory. We assumed you'd be too busy with work. That wasn't an assumption. It was an excuse. I'd sat alone that night, scrolling through hundreds of smiling faces, realizing my own family had edited me out of their story. Lauren's voice broke through my thoughts. I didn't think you'd want to come. You always make things about you. I laughed once, low, tired. Not inviting someone and then rewriting history to justify it doesn't make it right. It just makes it rehearsed. For the first time, no one spoke. Mom stared at her plate. Dad sighed heavily, and Lauren's perfect smile fractured under its own weight. You always needed too much, Mom whispered finally. Too much space. Too much validation. I looked at her, really looked. The woman who taught me that love had to be earned by shrinking. You didn't lose a daughter, I said. You lost the version you could control. Then I stood, folded my napkin neatly, and left. No shouting, no tears. Just truth. Days passed in silence, the kind that's meant to punish. Then an email arrived from Mom. You blindsided us. You humiliated your sister. There was no need for that scene, no need. That scene was the first time I'd ever spoken a full truth at their table. Lauren followed up with an Instagram post, her smiling in her wedding gown. Some people watch. Some people vanish. Real love shows up. The comments poured in. Validation, sympathy, performance. I didn't flinch. Because I knew what real love looked like. That night, Dylan folded laundry while I told him what happened. He didn't ask for details. He just kissed my forehead and said, Do they even know your favorite flower? They didn't. He did. Calla lilies, the same ones he planted outside our porch the day after our wedding. A week later, Dad emailed, Can we talk? Just us. We met at a diner, neutral ground. He looked smaller somehow, hands folded, coffee cooling between us. You getting married without telling us, he said slowly. It hurt. I met his gaze. You not asking where I was the day of Lauren's wedding? That hurt too. He nodded. No defense, just silence. Then he pulled out a photo, me and Dylan, windblown and laughing. I kept this, he said. Even when your mom called it disrespectful. For a moment I saw the father I remembered. Then it passed. I'm not lost, Dad, I said, standing. I just stopped walking in your direction. 2 days later, Mom showed up at my door. You embarrassed us, she snapped. No, I replied steady. I answered your question. You've always needed too much, she whispered again, that old dagger. But I'd already healed around that wound. You didn't raise me to be small, I said. You just punished me when I wasn't. Her lips parted, but I didn't wait for more. I closed the door quietly behind her. Some endings don't need a slam, just a lock. A week later, an envelope arrived. Lauren's wedding album. No note, no apology. Inside, glossy pages of perfection. And then I froze. There it was, a family photo labeled with my name. But the woman standing there wasn't me. It was my cousin. Same height, same hair, wearing a dress I'd worn once years ago. They'd literally replaced me. Dylan's voice was quiet behind me. They erased you. I nodded. No. They just reminded me I don't belong in their picture. I sealed the album back in its envelope, wrote one word across the front in black marker, return. Then I dropped it in the mailbox. No explanation needed. 6 months later, Dylan and I hosted what we called a celebration of honesty. 30 people came, friends, coworkers, neighbors. No seating charts, no speeches, no performance. And when I read my vows aloud again, I finally breathed. Because healing doesn't always come from apologies. Sometimes it comes from letting go of the people who never saw you clearly enough to invite you in the first place.